What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Oftentimes we are on the internet scrolling, liking shit, sharing shit just because it sounds good. So I saw something that a lot of people that were sharing. I wasn't sure if you guys have actually read the book. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is where this concept kind of comes from. But I wanted to share it on my screen and kind of walk through it with you guys if you have been one of the individuals that have seen this. So you should be able to see my screen right now. And as you can see at the top, it says school won't teach you this. So linear income versus residual income. First and foremost, the copywriting on this is great. It's going to catch the eye of anybody who sees this on Instagram, and they're going to want to share because everybody wants to go anti-school. So that's that, but it is what it is. Look, let's break down the different ways we can make money. And let's start with employee, okay? So an employee is where most of us are at right now in life. You might be an employee and a business owner. You might be an employee and an investor. You might be self-employed for one job and employed for another job, or you might just be an employee. But let's start at employee. So employee, 100% of the work relies on you. 100%, all the money you get paid is because you showed up. It's you times the job. If you do not show up to the job, you do not get paid. If you do not clock in, you do not get paid. You do not have any leverage or say for this. Either you show up or you don't. And they can fire you at any time. If you don't do the work quality, they can fire you. If you don't show up right on time, they can fire you. You don't get to decide how much you get paid. You can put in shit ton of work and demand a pay increase, and they can still not pay you. You have no leverage here. Okay. Now, let's move on to the next thing, self-employed. So oftentimes people think being self-employed is the way to go, but they forget that if you don't show up, you still don't get paid. So you still don't have any leverage at all. You own a job. You may not be an employee anymore, but now you own a job. So you don't get paid if you don't show up. You do not get paid if you do not show up. You are trading your time for money, and every day you start over at zero, okay? And just like an employee, you trade your time for money. Every day you start back at zero. As a business owner, you got leverage because you have people. So there are a few different types of leverage. There's capital, there's labor, which is people or machinery. There's media, and there's one other, but it's not popping in my head. One thing you're leveraging as a business owner is you have people that work for you and you own a system. So when you own a system and people work for you, the work doesn't all technically rely on you because you have people doing the work for you. You just have to create the system, guide, point, structure, strategize, but the work itself is often done by people that you hire or outsourced in some way. So you have the leverage of people. So you can make more money because if you have 10 people working 10 hours, that's 100 hours of work versus you can only do so much work in one day. So there's 100 hours of work getting done with 10 employees working 10 hours. But if it's just you, like for example, if you're self-employed and you work 10 hours, it's only 10 hours of work getting done, not 100. So you have the leverage of people when you're a business owner, so you can increase the amount of money you're pulling in for less work on your side, right? Then we have the investor. The investor is an individual who parks their money in a vehicle that continues to make money for them. So that can be the stock market, that can be in a business, that can be in real estate. You park your money in a vehicle that continues to make money for you. So income isn't dependent on your presence. If we want to talk about real estate, if you buy a duplex and you live in one side and you rent out of the other, it doesn't require any specific work from you. The income is not dependent on your presence because you don't have to be there. The person just lives in their house and they pay you every month because they live on your property. So you don't need to be there. You can go to Hawaii for 9 months and they're still going to pay you their rent. If we talk about business and equity in a business, you might get checks or dividends from a business every quarter, or you might get some type of benefits from a business every quarter, every month, maybe every week. It all depends on your setup, but you don't have to be there. You just get paid there because you put money into a business. You parked your money there and your money's helping them grow. So because of that, they help you out. So equity in a business, equity in real estate. Then let's see, what else? What else can we have? Invest in the stock market. You put your money, you park your money in a vehicle, in a company. At the end of the day, that's what the stock market is a whole bunch of companies. You park your money in a company that, you know, it goes to work. Your money starts working for you. And as that company grows and becomes bigger and bigger, your equity in that company becomes bigger and bigger. And if you want to cash out, then you can cash out, or you can allow your money to keep growing. And it doesn't require you to keep looking at it every day. It doesn't require you to do any specific work. It's pure passive income. Now, this is just a quick, simple breakdown. Obviously, we can get deeper in the roots to all four of these different quadrants, right? But to learn more about this concept, go ahead and read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This is where this concept was popularized, and he talks about it more in that book and might be able to break it down to a level that helps you understand a little bit better. So hopefully you found this content interesting or helpful. Leave a comment if you thought it was shitty. Much love. Salud, ski.